Well, with the Democrats openly embracing an aggressive far-left agenda, the next election may forever alter the course of America. My next guest is a lawyer, a radio host, and a best-selling author whose brand new books warns conservatives what's coming up and how to beat it. Would you please welcome the author of this book, The Next Red Wave, Jordan Sekulow joins us. Jordan, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Governor.
Great to have you. So the book is called The Next Red Wave.
Yep.
So you're advocating or saying you sense that something pretty significant will happen in 2020, not only in the presidential election, but in congressional elections and then all the way down to the local level. Why do you say that in light of all these polls that we hear every day that say that the president is not doing that well and you know, the numbers are pushing good for the Democrats?
So it's a pretty interesting book because both me and one of my co-authors were on the president's legal team and dealt with the whole Mueller investigation and the Russia thing. And what we realized as we were writing this book is that we wanted to wait until that was done, but we realized the deep state actors weren't done. And it was unique because the day this book released was the day Nancy Pelosi announced this phony impeachment inquiry. And then we found out about this phony whistleblower who went to Chairman Schiff before actually going to the Inspector General of the intelligence community. So we knew that there was just this deep-seated, really hatred for President Trump and the conservative values, not that he espoused, but that he was actually implementing, Governor. And I think that that was what was so exciting for a lot of us, and why we wrote this book is because we want to remind people, one, what it was like under the Obama administration for religious liberty, for imprisoned Americans abroad for their faith, the difference between a Saeed Abedini and a Pastor Andrew Brunson, the targeting of conservative groups by the IRS under the Obama administration, and what it's been like under President Trump. Let's not give that up. Those Supreme Court nominations that have been great and lower court I mean, we're close to flipping the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to where it's a Republican, almost it's 3 seats away from being a Republican majority appointed court. I mean, that is a huge shift that could happen under the next 4 years of President Trump.
Now,
but of course, we got to get there.
Talk. I was going to say Ninth Circuit, so people will know. That's the one out in California that is so liberal that it is actually somewhere between California and Hawaii. It's that far out to the left. And in fact, it is the most overturned appellate court in America.
You know what's interesting, Governor, too? This Planned Parenthood, and President Trump should get a lot of credit for this. Presidents have had this ability to defund by executive order about $60 million. Not all of Planned Parenthood's federal funding, but about $60 million through executive order. No Republican pro-life president has done it in the past. No Democrat obviously has done it in the past. He did it, and Planned Parenthood ran to the Ninth Circuit. Yeah, it is great news.
Very proud of him for that. A lot of babies are alive and will be because of that.
To me, it's like how he recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. All these presidents have had the ability to do it, but he actually did it. But what was interesting was Planned Parenthood ran to their usual home, the Ninth Circuit, and thought they're going to save us. And they didn't. And so they kept it. They went from the district court to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They went en banc to the whole court, and they lost. And so they don't really have a place to go. They lost that $60 million a year of funding, betting that the courts would come and save them. And so just there alone is one issue, I think, to excite people about 2020.
So I guess, let me be the skeptic. How can I be confident that there's a red wave coming and not a blue one? Because the Democrats are pretty confident that they're going to
I think
really
there's a couple
push back.
of ways. I think one, the silent majority is just getting angrier and angrier, and they're going to start coming out more in droves for President Trump. I think this impeachment inquiry, which is unconstitutional because there should be a vote. Nancy Pelosi should require every member of the House to vote on a resolution to open an impeachment inquiry. She doesn't want to do that because it puts a lot of vulnerable Democrats in a bad spot. If you look back in history, these impeachment moves for political purposes have always backfired on the party that started them. And this is again a move by Nancy. I think it's a Hail Mary by Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer, because they know their candidates can't stand up to Donald Trump. So they've got to do anything possible to dirty him as voters prepare and start thinking about not just how they'll cast their vote, you know, a little less than 400 days from now, but how involved they'll be. And that's what we finished the book with. You need to take your involvement past just don't bury your vote. We use some parables from the Bible. It's again, don't bury your vote. Actually get out there and multiply it by getting involved, whether it's a grassroots group, whether it's a county party, a state party, or if you're in a state where the Trump campaign is going to be actively involved. It's an incredible experience, even if you only have an hour a week to go in and phone bank.
The bottom line of that is that whether there's a red or a blue wave really depends upon the people who are watching us now. And if you want to know whether you can be a part of a red or a blue wave, you can get a copy of Jordan Sekulow's book, The Next Red Wave, How Conservatives Can Beat Leftist Aggression, Rhino Betrayal, and Deep State Subversion. Get it wherever books are sold. And be sure to keep up with the legal work of the American Center for Law and Justice as they battle to protect religious and constitutional freedoms. Find out more watching their videos or listening to their radio broadcasts at aclj.org.